Hey guys, hope you're all doing great. Today I'm back with another video. It's been a while since I posted a new one, but here I am and I'm ready to show you some mixing techniques for male vocals this time. I have this track called Past Has Gone. It's from a good friend of mine and it's basically classical guitar with some light percussion and a couple of vocals on there. I'm gonna focus for now on the main vocal. Maybe later on we'll go to the harmonies as well. So let's jump right in. So first of all, this is the full track.
We run towards the hope to find back what we have lost. We refuse to realize that those times are...
Alright, sounding great. So first of all, let's start by disabling or just take away all the plugins from the main vocal chain. By the way, I just got Studio One 6. I'm getting used to a couple of new features because panning is also a little different, and yeah, I'm very excited about many different features that they put in this one. But alright, let's focus on the vocals for now. So first of all, this is the vocal without anything.
Running towards the hope to find back what we have lost.
So the first thing that I would do is, as Studio One has, is to edit this with Melodyne. You can do this here, or you can go Command M, and it will automatically roll it out here. Select the right algorithm. All right, and we are good to go. Normally I would go into detail and go check every note, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to do a little bit more of a simplified version to get you started right away.
We run towards...
And how I do that is by selecting everything, Command A, go to Edit, Macros, Correct Pitch, and increase that a little bit. There we go. And just, I always like to hear the guitar at the same time, because it doesn't mean because your vocal is perfectly on the grid here, it doesn't always mean that it's gonna sound very in tune with the guitar, as a guitar, as you know, is not always 100% on pitch, and you do vibrations with your hand, so you just want to make sure that it glues together nicely with the most important instruments.
We run towards the hope to find...
Alright, so then we're going to jump right in. This is not tips and tricks on vocal mixing, but basically what I would do is smoothen out some of the longest notes at the end of a certain phrase.
We run towards the hope.
See, if I don't want this one to drop as much, I'll just take it back a little bit.
We run towards the hope.
And what you can also do with the pitch drift tool to keep the vibration but still smooth it out a bit, you can use this one. Alright? But we're not going to go too much into that. I'm just going to double check if this part is correct.
We run towards the hope to find back what we have lost. We refuse to realize that those times are... We refuse to realize that... We refuse to realize... We refuse to realize that those times are gone.
This one a little smoother.
Those times are gone for real. And now, what about now?
Alright, that's good enough for now, just to get us started. And then I'll take you over each and every step. First of all, the most important thing for me is to check the EQ. And we're going to get rid of all the unnecessary below, let's just say, you know, like 100 hertz.
To find back what we've lost.
Alright, that's a good one. Then the next thing that I'm going to use is to use a nice compressor. Let's see here. Really like this one.
We ran into words to hope to find back what we've lost. We refuse to realize that those.
This one sounds very natural. I'm just controlling the peaks a bit.
We ran into.
Well, it's more than peaks, but you know, just to smoothen it out a little bit. And I'm a really big fan of this plugin in particular because it gives you a really good sound right off the bat for multiple sorts of instruments. And it's the Focusrite plugin by Brainworks, and it's also a really good plugin if you just want to learn how to use a channel strip as you would do on an actual console. This is a really good one to practice this. But this one has some amazing presets, and also the male vocal. It does a really nice combination of a lot of different things.
We ran into.
Sounds a little too crisp, so obviously I know what sheet snop is, so I'm gonna just dial back the ones that I don't think, you know, are necessary in this case. There's a little bit too much of the high frequencies in there.
We ran into words to hope to find back.
And always a good one is to level out the volume of how it was before the plugin and after the plugin, so you can actually hear what the plugin is doing.
We ran into words to hope to find back what.
It's compressing it a bit too much.
We ran into words to hope to find back what we've lost. We refuse to realize that those times are gone for real. And now, what about now? We ran into words to hope to find.
Just gives it a little bit more sustain. So what I'm doing here, I'm dialing some knobs on the compressor. So there's a threshold to trigger the amount of, you know, volume. Then there's the release, then there's the attack, how fast you want the compressor to take down the volume, and the release means how fast will the volume go back to normal. And then there's some other knobs here as well that I don't use too often, such as sensitivity. But what I hear what this one is doing is still bringing out a lot of S's. So what I'm going to do after this one is one of my favorite plugins and use the Ook sound to smoothen out some of the frequencies. Again, it doesn't hurt to use a preset because they actually are very, very good. Going to vocals, clean up a little bit of the harshness.
We ran into words to hold.
This will smoothen it out a little bit. Well, I won't say always, but you know, in this case, I'll leave it on soft just to keep it as natural as possible, because if you're gonna put it on hard, it's gonna be very drastic and take away a little bit of the, you know, live feeling, and especially because it's with acoustic guitar, always looking at the bigger picture. This will make sure you know that your frequencies work a little bit more together in the natural way. Okay, so
We ran.
And then the last one would be,
We ran into words.
there's still a little bit of that harshness in the S's, so I'm gonna take the de-esser from Pro Q.
We ran into words to hold, to find back what we've lost. We refuse to realize that those times are.
And actually the de-esser has a really cool feature where you can put it on all round, so it's gonna trigger all the frequencies, you know, basically all of your vocals, while on single vocal it will just focus on the S's and all these very sharp sounds.
We ran into.
And you can actually see that very clearly here on the graphic. Here when it's on all round, it's going to trigger everything. When it's on single vocal, you will only see the S's being reduced in volume.
We ran into words to hold, to find back what we've lost.
Alright, this one is good for now. And
We ran into words to hold.
so we'll always good to do it before and after.
We ran into words to hold, to find back what we've lost. We refuse to realize that those times are gone for real. And now, what about now? Those times are gone for real. And now.
Alright, sounding pretty good. Then next thing, I love the Mac DSP, and I actually put this plugin in a lot of different things because it does a lot of things that I don't know the details from, but you know, it just sounds really good. It smoothens out the top end, but it gives this really nice harmonic distortion to it, and yeah, it just gives that little extra glue that some of the tracks need.
That those times are gone for real. And now, what about now? We ran into words to hold, to find back.
Basically what I do here, I don't know, this is maybe not 100% the right way to do it, but I always go with a preset. Then I take that one and you know, the mix knob is always on 100%, and what I do is I dial it back to 0, which is basically your original sound, and I give it like between 10 and 20%. Basically what it will do is just that little bit extra warmth, and also just smoothen out the top end, and also just, I don't know, it's this glue that you give to your sound, and obviously it totally depends on how you use it. You can use it as a send, but I'm using it as an insert for this occasion. Okay,
we ran into words to hold, to find.
Alright, so the next thing that I'm gonna do is I will put some reverb on this one. I really love a plate reverb.
We ran into words.
Very important with reverbs on anything is to manage your EQ, because it can add up across the whole frequency spectrum and will mask a lot of your other instruments. So I'm gonna cut low end here.
We ran into words to hope to find back what we have lost.
Bring a little bit, you know, I'm doing some EQ here on the plate. I put this as a send, so not as an insert, so I can manage my reverb separately. Always important.
We ran into words.
A little bit of pre-delay, just so it doesn't follow right after the vocal, but it leaves a little bit of space for the word and when the reverb starts happening.
We ran into words to hope to find back what we have lost. We refuse to realize.
Alright, now let's mess around with some delay. Sound toys, always my go-to, but you know, all of these parameters and knobs are on pretty much any other reverb, delay, EQ, whatever you use. So I hope you'll be able to relate to this. Let's go with, where is he? Echo Boy. All right, this one. There we go.
We ran.
Let's just get not distracted by the reverb for now.
We ran into words to.
I want something with a little bit of color, so I'm gonna go with the vocal effects and see what they have.
We ran into words to find back what we have lost. We refuse to realize that those times are gone for real. And now, what about now? Some memories can.
Alright, let me take another part of the vocal here as an example, so we're not listening to the whole thing over and over again.
Some memories can define what you do and who you.
And actually, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but some other really cool plugins that you can use is the Decapitator, for example, which gives you really nice distortion options. And I know there's this very aggressive rock vocal. Just gonna dial that back a little bit.
Some memories can define what you do and who you are. You've been stuck for a while, now it's time for you to take control. To take control. Some memories can define what you do and who you are. Some memories can define.
And what this does can really bring your vocal a little bit more up front, because there has a little bit more color. You're adding some distortion there. Again, mess around with this. I'm just adding drive. I'm not going into every detail of every plugin. But yeah, this is it for vocal. Then something that I really like to do flavor-wise is maybe even, you know, add some width to it by using the imager. Adding that here.
Some
take a preset for now.
Some memories can define what you do and who you are. You've been stuck for a while, now it's time for you to take control, to take control. Some memories can define what you...
What I sometimes also, what I'm doing here is basically I'm going with a preset, and these are the frequency ranges that you can trigger separately, and here there's a fader for each band basically that you select here, and then that you can make wider or thinner, okay, stereo wise. And then the other one that I sometimes use is the micro shift plugin. Put it as a scent, disabling the ozone for now.
Some memories can define.
And this will also make your vocal a little wider. Again, I'm not touching any parameters here, but you know, just to give you an idea of adding something that's stereo to. Let's see.
Some memories can define what you do and who you are. You've been stuck for a while, now it's time for you to...
Alright, going back to the beginning real quick.
We ran towards the hope to find back what...
Alright, so without anything, just to make the comparison.
We ran towards the hope to find back...
I love a vocal that sits a little wider in the mix than central, because, you know, I feel with a lot of songs these days, like some things are very wide and then the other ones are very thin, and I like to have like a little bit of a coherent image of the full track. Again, keep in mind also to match your volume, because now you can clearly hear the difference what it is without.
We ran towards the hope,
because it quite matches the volume, which is good. That's not always the case, but you know, in this case it is, but it's always good to keep an eye on that. And yeah, that's it for vocals. I'll do another video because I see we're already running for a little longer than 20 minutes here on the clock. I'll talk about background vocals in the next one. So yeah, maybe to quickly summarize everything that I've done is, first of all, do your EQ, clean up the stuff that you don't need, meaning the lower frequencies, everything below 90, 100, 110, get rid of it. Then the second thing I'm doing is just compressing it a little bit, just for the taste, because I really love the sound of this particular compressor. Then the next thing I'm doing is I'm using this one. I'm not saying you have to use all of these plugins or have to use this order, but this one I'm using because it gives you, normally I don't always use this one together with all the rest, but this one, if you're not really familiar with all these different plugins, this has everything in one, so you can mess around here with high pass filters, low pass filters, and try to get a good as sound as possible with just this plugin or any other channel strip basically. Alright, so then the next one, Soothe plugin, which I love very much, is just to clean up some of the frequencies that pop out too much. Don't overdo this because it's very useful and it's very efficient, but also again be careful with it because you don't want to lose the natural character of your sound, at least for this track, right? That's what I'm going for. Then the next one is a de-esser, because I think the S's were a little too sharp. You can change here the range and then threshold and the amount you want to take away from these S's. Then the fuzz box is a really nice distortion that I love to put on pretty much anything and every instrument, just to give a little bit more character, make it sound a little bit more glued. And then last but not least, for taste, obviously I'm making the sound a little wider, just to make it fit a little better with all the other very stereo instruments that are already in there. And then typically for vocals as well, you have some reverb going on, you have a delay going on. Decapitator is here, some distortion that I'm adding to it, but as a send, not as an insert. You can do this as an insert as well. And then a micro shift to again play with the stereo image a little bit. And yeah, that's it basically. And again, with your sends, delays and reverbs, be careful with your low end. And sometimes if you're not too sure, when you put a plug in here, it will automatically create a channel on the right side of it. And if you're not too sure, put a plugin on there. And I'm also not saying do this on every channel, but it's just good to, you know, understand a little bit about reverbs.
Plus can be a state of mind.
Right, going back here real quick.
We ran into words to hope to find back what we have lost.
All right, so here I'm cutting low frequencies. Wait, this pure plate, yes, this one. And I'm putting in a cue after it just to analyze it.
We ran into
and you see that everything here,
we ran into words to hope
is pretty much gone. Here, cutting until 180. 180
ran into words to
would be here, but you know, an approximate. So you want your audio to be clean, right? So that's it for this video. Again, this is how I approach vocals. I think I covered some of the most important plugins that I use pretty much anytime. If you have any questions about how I approach things, there's my website, bobvaro.com. There's some information there if you have a personal question about how I approach certain projects, sounds, or whatever it is. You can always send me a message, an email, or whatever. So yeah, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.